I'm going to read you guys this letter. It's coming from one of my subscribers. Her name is Crystal. She says, "Dear lovely T, my name is Crystal and my husband's name is Ade. I live in Vegas, Nevada, and I'm 25 years old. My husband is from Nigeria. He's been in the States about 10 years. He's an engineer. We both been laid off some time. My husband has been putting in application after application, interviews after interviews. Still no work for him or me as well. So my first time I had to apply. So this is my first time that I had to apply for welfare, and it's also my husband's first time applying for welfare as well. Mind you, welfare is only giving us $448 a month, and our bills are triple that. We're also having to do community service, which we have no problem with. I do work 10 hours a week, and my husband does 35 hours a week of community service. She does hers at the Goodwill, and he does his at a place called Cheap Labor. So basically, she's saying that her and her family need a job, and she needs some help. So when I first read the letter, and I feel really bad. I get a lot of letters from people who are in the same situation where they've been laid off of work, or, they've gotten fired and they're trying to find work. And as you guys know, if you've been on my channel for any length of time, I went through the same thing about 2.5 years ago when I was laid off from my job in North Carolina and I couldn't find work at all. I applied. I went everywhere. I had my certifications. I couldn't get an IT job. I couldn't get a job in finance. And I had been with my company 7 years. The advice I will give to you and your husband, Crystal, and I know he's of Nigerian descent, as am I. Sometimes as Nigerians, we can be kind of proud and we can be prideful. But when you get into certain situations like this where, things are dire, sometimes you have to set your pride aside. And I had to do that when I left North Carolina. I wanted to stay. I wanted to live down south. I love the weather. I had friends down there. But I had to put my pride aside and literally ask my mom, like, you know what? I had to move back home with you. And I hadn't lived with my mom since I was 18. But it took a lot for me to put my pride aside and say, you know what? I'm going through this divorce. I can't find a job. My money's running low. I was scared. I didn't know what else to do next. And my mom was like, you know what? I'll do anything for you and my grandkids. And, my brother, my homeboy, they came and they literally moved me and my kids out of North Carolina and brought us to Minnesota. And I've been here ever since. So what I would say to you and your husband is if you guys are not able to find any work in Vegas, and I don't know what type of engineering job he does. I don't know if he does IT or if it's, mechanical. I don't know what he does because he didn't state that. Sometimes your location is just that, your location. I don't know if you guys have children, so I don't know, or if maybe you guys have a lot of family or what's keeping you guys in Vegas, but sometimes you have to leave. As much as I love North Carolina, as much as I didn't want to leave, as much as I even miss it to this day, I had to do what was best for me and my children. So sometimes you guys have to just, move. When there's not work, especially with your particular degree in a particular area, sometimes you have to go clear across the country. Sometimes you have to go down south. Sometimes you have to move up north. You have to go to where the job market calls for. And for me, there was no more jobs in the Southeast. There just wasn't a lot of jobs. And I was applying. All through Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. I wasn't getting a bite. And this is somebody who's been in the workforce since I was 18. But when I moved to Minnesota, I was able to get 2 different jobs within, literally a month's part. And I ended up getting an IT job because I asked one of my friends about his company. He said that they were hiring. So that's how I got into my position. So sometimes you have to talk to people. Sometimes you have to ask other people for help because people never know your situation until you open up to them about that. And that's why I say we have to sometimes put that pride aside and ask folks for help. And the reason why I did want to share your story, because so many times people have it misconstrued that people who are on welfare are just lazy. They just want to check. They just don't want to work. Crystal and her husband are a perfect example. This is their first time ever applying for assistance. They've always contributed to the American economy. They've always had jobs, but they're just facing a hard time. And there's unfortunately more and more Americans going through this who are facing hard times, who are facing hardships, who can't find work, who are getting laid off. So I think your best bet, and like I said, I don't know if you guys have kids or if you guys have family in Vegas, I think you guys need to start applying for jobs outside of Vegas, especially if he has an engineering degree. He should be able to find work. They tend to have a lot of engineering positions, typically in the Midwest. Minnesota has a lot of jobs. Everybody doesn't want to live up here because it's cold, but there is work up here. I mean, plain and simple. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. There just happens to be abundance of work up here. I'm not saying everybody come and move here, but that's just an example. I also hear that Colorado tends to have a lot of jobs as well. So you might want to just look at different places. LA, it's very hard, so I wouldn't move towards California. There's not a lot of jobs out there. The job market is very weak. So you have to like literally do your research, go online and search for jobs in your field and start applying. You never know. You might not be able to find nothing in Vegas, but you might apply, for a position in Chicago, and they might be willing to fly you guys out there, get you guys some type of housing and everything else just because of your husband's degree or just because of what you guys do. So I think you guys should start applying outside of Vegas and start looking for work outside of Vegas. And also don't hesitate to ask friends and family for help. Don't just bear this burden on just you and your husband alone. Definitely reach out to your church, ask family members, ask your siblings if you need help. If the 448 is not enough a month, which I'm sure it's not, definitely reach out to other people and see if other people are willing to assist you. A lot of times you can go to like different shelters and different programs where they'll give you vouchers for food and things like that on top of the food stamps that you receive. So there's a lot of help out there, but you just have to be willing to ask people. And I think this was a big step, you asking me, and you don't know me like that, but for you to reach out to me and ask me for help is a big step, and I appreciate your email. So I just want you to do the same thing, but closer to home, starting with friends and family. And, also give me more details. Send me another email on Facebook pertaining what your husband does for a living, what type of engineering jobs he has. And if I run across anything that sounds similar to what he does for a living, I have no problem sending you guys the job information. I've done that for other subscribers. I've done resumes for my subscribers, so I'm always willing to help people however I can. So, if there's any way I can help you guys, definitely let me know. So I hope you guys end up figuring it out. I hope everything ends up working out for you, and I will definitely keep you guys in prayer. All right, so I have another tea time letter, and this is coming from Mariah. Mariah says, "Hey T, I saw that you're doing Dear T videos again, and since you're the first person to get me off that creamy crack, aka the perm, I was just wondering if you could show us your hair regimen and how you blow out your hair and it comes right back without any heat damage. You come up with the most beautiful styles, and your curls come right back after you stretch it. I also love your inventive natural styles too, and would also like to know what kind of clothing fit natural people, what kind of clothing fits the natural look. I've been kind of just winging it. I'm such a big fan of yours, and I'm glad that I found you, because most of my life I felt like I was brought up among so much self-hate, but I've truly learned to love myself and make better choices because of you. My mom never really sat me down and talked to me about a lot of things that you address. So finding you really helped me to better myself and to be a better parent to my baby. I'm a young mom too, and seeing how you care for your kids and your determination motivates me to do the same. I'll try and keep this short, but I gotta tell you that I look up to you and you inspire more people than you'll ever know. If there was ever a way that I can support you, I will, because you deserve it. I have no real friends and I have never met you, but I still feel your positivity and love you more than ever. And I look to you as a best friend. Sincerely, Mariah." Mariah got me about to cry. Like she has me about to cry. Like, that means a lot to me when people write me emails like that, because I'm just a regular person like anybody else. So for people to find that much in me, because I wasn't raised with a high self-esteem. I wasn't able to talk to my mom about certain things. People didn't tell me that they love me every day. I had to just kind of go through life and just figure stuff out myself. So that means a lot to me if I can be a beacon of hope for somebody else, if I can leave somebody, who feels damaged or who feels like they've been through a lot, if I can put a smile on their face and help them feel better about themselves, that means the world to me. And, especially for young moms out there, because so many times you have a lot of people knocking us and saying because you made a mistake or because you got pregnant young, you're not going to be about shit. Your kids aren't going to be about shit. And I've always wanted to prove people wrong with that, to show people that you can make a mistake. You can, go through things in life and then you can bounce back. You know what I'm saying? You can be a better person. You don't have to be that person that you were in the past. So thank you so much, Mariah, for that email. It did mean a lot to me, because just like you, I don't have a lot of friends. I have a few friends that I've kept close over the years, but there's not a lot of people that I trust or that I can just associate with. So I feel like I have more friends and more people I'm close with online. So I know where you're coming from. You feel like you can be friends with somebody over the internet, even though you never met them. And that's how I feel with a lot of my online friends. Like I have a closer relationship with some of them than people that are in my everyday life. And that means a lot to me that people will reach out to me and consider me a friend, an auntie, a big sister, a mother. You know, I hear that all the time. Like, you know, I wish you were my mom, or I wish you were my aunt. Like that means a lot. And that's why I feel like it's a lot of responsibility. And that's why I just try when I make my videos and when I speak about certain things to speak my truth as I know it, because I understand that, you know, even though I didn't ask for this platform, I didn't ask to be a role model to anybody. For whatever reason, people do look at me as some type of role model, and I appreciate that and I respect that, and I just try my best not to let anybody down. You know, as far as like the whole hair thing and being natural, you guys have watched my journey from the time, you know, me being in the bathroom and cutting off my hair and, you know, coming out the bathroom and my ex-husband, my kids were like, what did you do? You know, my hair was like to the middle of my back and I just cut it all off, and I haven't looked back since, you know, and I've been going through a lot with my hair, like I told you guys, because of the medication I'm on. It's taken a toll on my hair. So, you know, I can't do all the fancy styles that some of the other hair gurus do because, you know, it's just taking a toll on my hair. My hair is not as thick as it used to be. So I just try and find styles that are minimal, that just doesn't cause a lot of stress to my hair because of my medications. So sometimes when I blow it straight, I'll make sure to like twist it up in pigtails just so I can kind of leave it straight a little bit longer, as opposed to flat iron it every day and things like that. When I do like this particular style that I did here, I just use plain aloe vera gel. So I use plain aloe vera gel, I use some shea butter, and I twist it up at night, and then I just untwisted it today. And then you can see like, you know, all the waves and everything. So, and then I just took the rest of my hair and I just pinned it up and put it on the side. So I don't think you have to do a whole lot with natural hair. I think sometimes people read too deeply into natural hair. They feel like they have to do so much. I think the hair should just be an extension of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You make the hair shouldn't make you. You know, and I think that's where people go wrong. They feel like they have to buy every beauty product. They have to subscribe to every hair guru. They have to try every hairstyle. Sometimes just wearing an afro would just suffice. You know, sometimes I just like to wear an afro and I don't feel like doing my hair. I don't feel like picking it out, combing it. And that's fine. It's my hair. I don't feel like anyone has to explain how they choose to wear their hair. You know, and I've seen your pictures. You tend to wear your hair more straight, but congratulations for coming out the creamy crack. You know, you just have to find a style that suits you, regardless if you want to wear it curly, if you want to wear it straight. Do something that you like, that fits your face, that fits your mood, that fits how you want to do it. And I don't think you should have to make any apologies or explain anything to anyone. You know, sometimes people get upset when I straighten my hair and it's like, it's my hair. I just don't feel like wearing an afro today. And then you have other people who hate when I wear an afro, you know, but as long as I like what I see when I look in the mirror, that's all that matters. You know, and then as far as like the fashion, how natural girls should dress, I think really it's up to you. You know, I think a lot of times people think that just because you're natural, you're supposed to be more earthy. You're supposed to wear a lot of browns or put on a potato sack. And I just have my own sense of style. I always have my own sense of style. I'm the type of chick, I'll be in the club with a big afro, some 6-inch heels, and a mini skirt. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I love purple. I love bright colors. I don't think just because you're natural that you have to be earthy. You can't wear makeup. You can't, you know, wear lashes. You can't wear cute earrings. You know, I think you should be able to be just as sexy and fly as girls who wear weaves. You know, you got girls out here who will wear a 24-inch lace front and a bad outfit, some bad shoes, and then, you know, it's like that's okay. Like if you're natural, you're supposed to just wear Jesus sandals and a potato sack. And I think you should just do the opposite. I think you should dress however you see fit, you know, whatever makes you comfortable, whatever is appropriate for your size. You know, floss it, dress how you want to dress, do your hair how you want to wear it, and make no apologies. Point blank. So I don't think there's any type of blueprint for how to be natural or how to rock a natural. You know, some people try and make it a blueprint. I like to break the norms. I do me. I don't explain myself to nobody else. If you guys are on my Instagram, you guys see the type of clothes I wear, the type of fashion, you know, I come up with, you know, the type of hairstyles I come up with. I do what works for T. I'm not here to appease anybody else. I spent the first 20-something years of my life trying to make other people happy. You know what I'm saying? Trying to live to society's expectations, putting a weave in my hair and, you know, doing stuff that was unbecoming of me. And now that I found myself and I'm comfortable with who I am, I'm not making any apologies for that. And I don't think you should either, Mariah. I think you should wear your hair how you see fit, dress how you feel comfortable, You know what I'm saying? If somebody doesn't like it, tell them to kick rocks. I'm nosy as hell. I did go to your Facebook page and I seen your daughter. She's adorable. You and your boyfriend make a really good couple. So, I hope you guys just continue doing the right thing and, parenting her as best you can to the best of your ability and, just raising her right. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes as parents, but as long as we learn from them and we're open and we're able to talk to our children, that's all you can ask for. So good luck with everything and thanks again for the email. All right, it's tea time, so let's go ahead. This letter is coming from Kina. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, I apologize. So Kina says, T, I was wondering if you could give me some advice. I have really low self-esteem, and no matter what I do, I feel less than everyone else. I have big dreams of becoming a writer and an actress, but I am really afraid to do anything about it. What would you do if you were me? So Kina, I can tell you like this, I was you. I was that girl with low self-esteem. I never felt pretty, and on top of that, I was bullied. People made fun of me. We didn't have a lot. We weren't rich. So it's always like, I had to deal with a lot of stuff. So not only having low self-esteem, but dealing with comments from bullies. And then I never really felt loved. I had a lot of issues with my parents and things like that. So I definitely can empathize with you. It's not easy. And it's easy to say, oh, just love yourself. And, you shouldn't have low self-esteem. You're a pretty girl. It doesn't matter how many times somebody tells you you're pretty or that you're smart or that you're a good person. If you don't feel that way about yourself, it doesn't matter. It just goes all out the window. The best thing I can tell you is that God makes no mistakes. And that you have to find something within yourself that's good, that's positive, that you love about yourself. Because you have to start telling yourself positive words. One thing that did help me that I had learned when I went to this group one time is that a lot of times we don't like looking in the mirror because we're scared at looking at our own reflections. We're scared at what looks back at us. Sometimes you have to go to a mirror, look in it straight ahead and tell yourself, you know what? I am a good person. I am a beautiful girl. I do have a good heart. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to give yourself those re-encouraging words because the world, let me tell you, is here to tear you down. The world is here to tell you that you're not shit, that you're never going to be about shit, that you're ugly, that you're fat, that you're too short, too tall. That's the world's purpose. But you have to be able to deflect that and know that no matter what somebody says about you or what somebody puts you through, that does not define you as a person. So I would suggest to you to go look in the mirror and point out good things about yourself because nobody is bad. Nobody's inherently bad. We all have good points about ourselves and we all have things that we may want to change or work on. But look at the good first and then focus on working on certain things. If it's weight that's causing you to have low self-esteem, sometimes you have to work on, coming up with a diet plan, exercising. If it's something with your skin, a lot of young people have issues with acne. I never had skin issues. That's one thing I can say that was a blessing. But there's been other people in my family who have had acne and things like that. Sometimes it's something as simple as your diet, changing your diet around because a lot of times people think, oh, well, just get proactive or just get eczema. Sometimes you have to work on what you're putting into your body because sometimes what you're putting into your body is coming out in your skin, coming out in your pores. So, looking at your diet, looking at your health, looking at working out, just whatever little things are bugging you that's bringing your self-esteem down, you have to look at that in an honest fashion and then figure out a way to render that. If you don't think you're pretty, if you're feeling like, you're not as pretty as the other girls, maybe something as simple as, getting your eyebrows done. That'll make your eyes pop. Maybe something like, putting on a little bit of lipstick. That'll make your lips look a little bit fuller. Or getting a new hairstyle, getting a new haircut. So there's all types of little things that you can do to kind of raise your self-esteem. But at the end of the day, it's called self-esteem. It's esteem of yourself. So you have to feel better about yourself. And once you start feeling better about yourself, then everything else will fall into line. Then other people will be like, you know what? She has a high esteem. She don't care what nobody thinks about her. Then nobody else can bring you down to that level that that to that depressing level that makes you feel bad about yourself, you know. And you said that you want to be, you said that you had dreams of being a writer and being an actress. Well, in order to be an actress, you have to have some type of self-esteem, because you have to be able to get up there in front of a crowd, in front of an audience. You have to be able to play different characters. Acting is a blessing. I remember I did acting back in high school, and it really brought me out my shell, because I used to be like a real shy kid. So acting can be a wonderful way to raise your self-esteem, because you're able to play characters and you're able to play different people. So I would definitely get with an acting group. I would take some acting classes, you know. And in acting, the good thing about that, with acting that's different from modeling, you can look any type of way in acting. You can be overweight, you can be short, you can be tall, you can be skinny. Whereas in modeling, you know, you have to have a certain look, you have to have a certain size. In acting, you can be anyone, look any type of way, and people will still accept you. So I would definitely focus on acting. You know, acting is definitely a fun thing to do. It's a great way to meet new friends. It's a great way to, you know, raise your self-esteem. And, you know, as far as you want to be a writer, you can do anything that you put your mind to it. And that's the truth. And, you know, if you have some writings to share with me, some poetry, I would love for you to send it to me. I would love to read it. You know, I've had subscribers send me poetry and things like that. So, you know, send it to me. Let me check it out. But other than that, you know, I just hope everything gets better. I hope you look in the mirror and find out those special things about yourself and things that you love about yourself, and focus on that. And don't let other people's opinions, other people's words tear you down, because that's what they're meant to do. So you got to look beyond that and find out what makes Kiana tick. What makes Kiana special. So I hope you enjoyed the video, you know, and I hope it ends up helping you, and I hope your self-esteem gets raised, you know, a tad bit. You know, I love you, even though you don't know me. I wish you the best, you know, and I hope everything works out for you in the end.